Look at your screen. Go on, look at it. Does it feel like a battlefield? Does it feel like you're always fighting against something? Against the big banks, against the news, against your own shaky hand? The truth is, most people who try to trade feel exactly that way. They step into the market jungle, full of hope, and end up becoming just another source of food. You wanted the smart life. You wanted passive income. But right now, you're just chasing candles and praying your stop-loss holds. You are the prey. My name is Jordan Peters, and I'm going to tell you something harsh right now, but you need to hear it. The market is designed to take money from the impatient and give it to the patient. It's the law of the financial jungle. If you're trading because you're bored, if you're trading based on a Twitter rumor, if you're doubling down on a loser because you hope it comes back, you are broadcasting a signal to the smart money: I am weak. Come and take my capital. But today, we stop running. Today, we change the signal. Today, you start learning how to think like the predator. I want you to think about your last big loss. Was it because you followed a rule, or because you broke your rule out of fear or greed? Was that a predator action, or a prey action? Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, we are going to rewire your brain from reactive fear to calculated, cold-blooded execution. Let's use the ultimate trading animal, the alligator. The alligator spends 99% of its life doing nothing. It floats, barely moving, looking like a log. It wastes no energy. It makes zero noise. It is pure patience. Then, a thirsty, tired animal comes to the water's edge. The animal feels safe. It doesn't see the danger. It sees relief. That moment of comfort, that moment of distraction, that is the alligator's signal. Not the animal being close, but the animal being careless. In trading, the prey is always moving. Always checking their phone, moving stop losses, clicking buy, sell buttons like a video game. They are wasting their emotional and financial energy. The predator, is the alligator. You are still. You wait for the market to become careless. You wait for the price to come to your exact, perfect entry spot, where the risk is small and the reward is massive. You wait for the prey, the emotional traders, to get sloppy. Value point 1. The power of observation. The first skill of the predator is superior observation. The prey sees a big green candle and says, "Go up." The prey sees a big red candle and says, "Go down." They are only looking at price. The predator sees something deeper. They see the story the chart is telling. When the prey is buying, the predator is asking, who is selling to them? And why are they doing it now? When the prey is panicking, the predator is asking, who is calm enough to pick up these shares cheaply? And what is their target? This means you stop looking at the news and start looking at volume. Volume is the footprints of the smart money. Low volume means no one important is here. High volume at a key level means the predators are feeding. You must learn to follow their trail, not the trail of the scared zebras. But just looking at volume isn't enough. You need to know where they are hiding. In a few moments, we're going to talk about the concept of the killing zone, the exact price level where predators line up to strike and where most amateur traders get slaughtered. This is the difference between a random trade and a calculated ambush. The second vital skill is calculated risk. Prey trades based on hope. They risk too much, hoping for a big win to fix all their past losses. They use position sizes that make their stomach turn when the price moves even a little. That feeling? That stomach flip? That's your body telling you, you have bet too much. The predator risks only what is necessary. They size their trades so that if the stop loss is hit, they feel nothing. It is just a small, accepted cost of hunting. If you are risking $1,000 and your account is only $5,000, you are going to trade emotionally. If you are risking $50 on that same $5,000 account, you can be perfectly calm. Calmness is the predator's superpower. Could you walk away from your current trade right now, if you had to, without a single regret? If the answer is no, your position size is wrong, and you are acting like prey. Welcome back. If part 1 felt like a wake-up call, part 2 is your training manual. We talked about becoming the still, calm alligator. Now, we need to talk about where that alligator hunts. You don't just jump into the water anywhere, right? You go where the weak are easy to catch. In trading, these spots are called liquidity traps. These are the killing zones I promised you. The big, smart money, the predators, don't look at the chart the way you do. They don't see green and red candles. They see stop losses. They see pockets of fear and areas of hope. Value point 3. Spotting the traps. The market's job is to confuse and distract. It runs 3 main traps to shake out the prey before the real move happens. Trap number 1. The false breakout, the bait. This is the most common trap. You see a clear resistance line, a ceiling the price couldn't get past. The prey says, if it breaks this ceiling, it's going to the moon. So, they buy the second the price goes just above it. The predator knows better. They know that the smart money lets the price poke its head out, bringing in all those excited buyers. Then, the predators slam the door shut, selling hard and fast, making the price drop right back below the ceiling. All those buyers who just jumped in? Their stop losses get hit. The predators just ate their excitement. The rule: never trade the first break. Wait for the price to retest the breakout level and prove it wants to stay above. Patience is the lock on the trap. Value point 4. The stop-loss hunt. Trap number 2. The obvious support/resistance. The clearing. Everyone, even the prey, knows where the obvious support and resistance lines are. They are easy to spot. Let's say a stock bounced perfectly off $10 3 times. Every single amateur trader puts their stop-loss just below $10, maybe at $9.90. This creates a massive pool of money, liquidity, just sitting there, waiting to be collected. The predator, the big bank or fund, sees that pool. They will intentionally drive the price down just enough, maybe to $9.85, just to trigger all those stop losses. This is called a stop-loss hunt. Once all the amateur sellers are forced out, the predator has cleaned the clearing, and they can then buy at $9.85 and start the real move up, leaving the frustrated prey behind. Have you ever been stopped out of a trade, only to watch the price immediately reverse and shoot off in the direction you predicted? If yes, you were just hunted. How does that feel? Value point 5. Trading the timeframe. Trap number 3. The timeframe illusion, the distraction. The prey lives on the 5-minute chart. Because it moves fast. It gives the feeling of action and excitement. But the 5-minute chart is full of false signals. It's the market whispering sweet nothings in your ear. The predator hunts on the higher timeframes. They use the 4-hour chart, the daily chart, or even the weekly chart to find the real trend and the real support and resistance levels. The 5-minute movements? Those are just noise, distractions designed to trick the bored trader. The predator looks at the daily map to plan the journey, then uses the smaller time frames only to find the perfect, lowest risk entry point. Think of it like planning a road trip. You don't use a tiny map of your local street corner to plan a drive across the country. You use the big, overall state map. If the big map says the trend is up, then you only look for buys on the small map. You stop fighting the current. This shift in thinking, from reacting to a tiny candle to planning around the big chart structure, is the difference between surviving and thriving. It gives you structural patience. You know the market is going to wiggle. You expect the noise. You expect the false breakout. Because you are looking at the big picture, those little wiggles don't scare you. They just confirm that the prey is panicking right on schedule. In part 3, we are going to talk about the mindset of zero regret. This is the secret to sizing your trades perfectly and managing your risk like a professional hunter who knows that a clean miss is better than a sloppy kill. This is about removing the hope and the fear from your execution forever. Welcome to the deepest part of the jungle. If you've been with me for parts 1 and 2, you now know where the predators hunt, the killing zones, and how they wait, lethal patience. But none of that matters, absolutely zero, if you still have the emotional wiring of the prey. Prey trades with regret. They regret taking the trade, they regret closing it too early, they regret the loss, and they even regret the small win because they could have made more. Regret is a heavy chain. It slows you down. The predator operates with zero regret. Value point 6. Execution over prediction. The core secret to zero regret is understanding this. Your job is not to predict the market. Your job is to execute your plan. Prey thinks they are a fortune teller. They try to guess where the price will be next week. When they guess wrong, They feel stupid and regret the loss. Predators understand that every trade is just a test of their system. They know their system wins 60% of the time and loses 40% of the time. When they take a loss, they don't get angry. They don't regret it. They just say, okay, that was one of the 40% losses. Next. It's like flipping a coin that you know is rigged to land on heads 6 out of 10 times. When it lands on tails, you don't throw the coin away. You just wait for the next flip, because you trust the math. When you take a loss, do you look for someone or something to blame, the news, the broker, your spouse? Or do you just calmly check if you followed your own rules? If you blame outside factors, you're stuck being the prey. Take 100% ownership of your rules, and let go of 100% of the outcome. Value point 7. The stop-loss discipline. This brings us back to risk. The most important, most boring, and most skipped part of trading. The predator understands that the stop-loss is not a defeat, it's an insurance payment. The prey sees a stop-loss as admitting they were wrong. So what do? They move the stop-loss. They widen it. They tell themselves, just a little further, it will turn around. This is the single biggest mistake that turns a small bite into a life-ending injury. The predator places the stop-loss at the exact spot that proves their idea is wrong. If your plan was to buy because the stock holds above $50, then the stop-loss must be placed below $50. If the price goes below $50, your reason for being in the trade is gone. You don't need feelings, you just need clean execution. Cut the loss, accept the small payment, and wait for the next perfect setup. Think of a surgeon. A surgeon doesn't start operating and then decide halfway through, I feel like cutting this way today. They follow the established, proven procedure. Your trading plan is your procedure. Follow the procedure, not the feeling. Value point 8. The power of R. To trade without regret, you need to understand the power of R. R stands for risk. It is the amount of money you are willing to lose on one trade. If you risk $100, your R is 1R. The predator only takes trades where the reward is much bigger than the risk. They look for trades that offer 2R, 3R, or even 5R. That means risking $100 to potentially make $300, $400, or $500. Why is this a mind trick? Because even if you only win 4 out of 10 trades, you are still profitable. 4 wins x 3R equals plus 12R. 6 losses x 1R equals dash 6R. Total equals plus 6R profit. This math is the ultimate emotional shield. It means you expect to lose more times than you win. When you lose, you don't panic, because you know your next single win could pay for 3 or 4 losses. You are trading a game of probabilities, not a game of perfection. Zero regret is a skill, not a gift. It comes from trusting your math more than your gut. Now that we have the mindset, we have the map, and we have the emotional shield, we need to talk about the final, most crucial element, the hunter's feast. This is the art of scaling, where you turn a small win into a life-changing profit and how you handle the psychological burden of being right. Most traders mess up their winners, not their losers. In Part 4, we will cover the final steps to truly thinking like a predator and how to use the market's greatest force, momentum, to your advantage. We have reached the last stage of the hunt, the feast. By now, you've shed the fear. You've mastered the patience. You've used the predator's map to avoid the killing zones. You took a trade with zero regret because your risk was calculated. And now, your trade is running. The price is moving in your direction. This is where most traders, even the smart ones, mess up. They survive the scary part, entry, and fail the easy part, exit. Value point 9. Letting winners run the prey. Get scared of their winner. They see a small profit, maybe $200, and their brain screams, take it. Lock it in before it goes away. They fear seeing the profit disappear, so they exit early. This is the fastest way to kill a trading account. If you cut your wins short and let your losses run, by moving your stop-loss, you will always lose money, even if you are right most of the time. The predator does the exact opposite. They know their trade has a 3R or 5R potential. They don't close the trade just because it's 1R up. They trust the map. The rule of the predator's feast. You don't exit based on a dollar amount. You exit when the market structure tells you to. You only exit when the price hits your final target, or when the price breaks a major support/resistance level against your direction. You let the market kick you out, either profitably or by breaking your reason for holding the trade. You are riding the momentum, not fighting it. Value point 10. The art of scaling and risk management. As the price moves in your favor, the predator does two powerful things. 1. Moving the stop loss to break even. The safety net once your trade has made 1 you've made back the money you risked. Immediately move your stop loss to your entry price. Now, the trade is risk-free. You cannot lose money on it. This is the ultimate emotional cheat code. Because you can now let the trade run for 3R, 5R, or more with zero stress. 2. Scaling, the bigger bite. If the market confirms the trend by breaking a major level, the predator might add a small amount to the position. This is like the lion dragging the feast back to the pride. You are adding to a position that is already proven to be right and is already protected at break-even. You are only risking your potential profit, not your actual capital. This is trading with the market's money. In your last winning trade, did you exit because the profit felt good enough, or because your trading plan signaled a definite end? If it was good enough, you left a huge feast on the table. The predator's code. Let's bring all 3,000 words together into the predator's code. This is your life change. See the world clearly. Stop listening to the noise, news, gurus. Look for the liquidity traps. Trade with zero regret. Size your risks so small that a loss is meaningless. Use lethal patience. Wait for the perfect, textbook setup. Be the alligator. Wait for the carelessness. Protect your capital first. Move your stop to break even quickly to eliminate fear. Let the market work. Trust your system. Ride the momentum. Only the market tells you when the trade is over. This is not magic. This is not a secret signal. This is just discipline. It's boring, and that's why it works. The market is full of bored, emotional prey looking for excitement. Your new goal is to be boring, disciplined, and ridiculously profitable. Every single time you click the buy or sell button, you have a choice. Do you choose to be the frantic zebra, reacting to every shadow? Or do you choose to be the still, calculating lion, waiting patiently for the perfect, high-probability moment? The choice isn't just about money. It's about who you are when the charts are moving. Are you running, or are you hunting? I've given you the complete 3,000-word blueprint to change the way you trade forever. Now you need to commit to the change. If this message hit you hard, if it made you realize that you've been acting like the prey, I need you to do 3 things for the algorithm and for me. Like this video. Hit that thumbs up button and make a commitment right now that you will trade like a predator, not prey, in your next session. Comment below. Tell me which of the 4 parts, patience, the map, zero regret, or the feast, is the hardest for you to master. I read every comment. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Because next week, we are diving deep into how to build a 2% risk trading plan that locks in this predator mindset for good. Stop being the food. Start controlling the jungle. I'll see you in the next video.